Hey guys, so I wanted to do a reading. I wanted to kind of talk about some of the information and kind of messages I got a little while ago, and then pull some cards and kind of see what else Spirit has. So there's a few different groups of people right now. There's a group, hi Sage. There's a group that is in kind of my cycle where we're actually about to be done with cycles. Like you're kind of getting the preparation and information right now you need for the next part. And then we're going to be implementing them. So some of the stuff that you've been asking for a while, you're going to start seeing it slowly coming in, or your kind of behaviors and things that you're doing outwardly are going to change based on what you're actually wanting. So some of that stuff is shifting. There's another group that is kind of in the middle of that, where they're in a cycle. They're kind of stuck. They're not really... It's like they have awareness and knowledge to what they want to change, but they're not really actually making the changes or fully really implementing it. It's like they're teeter-tottering. They're kind of going back and forth, and it's like they'll move forward, they'll go back. They'll move forward, they'll go back. So some of you guys are going to be getting kind of clarity and information. Some of you guys might be having a tower come up, is what Spirit said. And a tower is kind of like where something happens to really catapult change for you guys, to really like give you that definitive like thing that you need to fix this, you need to change this. There's no more like lingering around. Like if you want what you say you want, then like you're gonna need to make these changes. For the first group, if you're in a third group, I'm not even getting energy for you guys. So if you don't fit into either of those groups, that's fine. You can always save it if you feel guided to watch it at a later time. You know, it's like a timeless message, so it doesn't matter when you see it. Nope, come on. But, nope, or you're going to go in the room. You make your decision. But for the first group, there's this energy too of like Spirit kind of asking you questions like, what do you want? Are you open to stuff? Things like that. Or people maybe giving you kind of the messages of it. And for some of you, it's almost like this a little bit of anxiety and fear, because you're actually going to be implementing what you've been learning for a while. Like as you close out the cycle now, what you've been wanting might be coming in. It might be temporary, or it might be long-term. For a lot of you guys, it feels like temporary, to help you to kind of fully integrate what you want. And if it involves somebody else, for somebody else to kind of catch up to where you're at or whatever. But it's to help you to, like I said, integrate the energies, integrate what you want, and kind of get a feel for it and work through any kind of residual or last minute type of stuff. For that group, a lot of you guys are like spiritual leaders, so you're going to be energetically helping people in some way. It's part of your purpose. Might be having to do with your career, but it might not be either. But in some way, helping part of your purpose as you overcome certain spiritual lessons. You're going to be guiding other people to do the same through information and just being around your energy. Just being around your energy can actually affect people to change and trigger them to change. So I'm just going to pull, that's kind of the messages I got, but I'm just going to kind of pull some cards and just kind of see what else Spirit has to say. And I'm going to try to keep it fairly short today. Is that it? Okay, so we got milestone and we got intuition and manifestation with dark thoughts on the bottom. And then dark thoughts. Just curious what's underneath that healing light. So some of you, it's deeper fears, like as you're finishing the cycles, it's deeper fears to why you've been stuck in the cycle for long, or what some of your actual bigger fears are that you didn't kind of realize what they were. Some of you might be just also kind of trying to figure things out, feeling a little conflicted and confused, because it's like the old part of you is kind of like leaving and being like left in the past. And so there might be a little bit of confusion because something might have seemed one way, or you're getting some kind of clarity one way, and now it seems kind of the opposite. So you're really uncertain. But this Spirit's saying this is an opportunity for you to kind of keep surrendering and going into trusting yourself and reflecting on your thoughts of like what this is showing you or what this is teaching you. And don't worry about everything. Every thought is not a reality. And also be mindful of, is this something that's mine or somebody else's too? The other group, I'm also getting this this energy of you're going to be faced, if you do get a tower moment, a lot of you are going to be faced with some of your deeper fears. Is whatever this Tower is for that second group, that's not at the end of a cycle, and you know you're not, because there are changes you need to make and you're not fully doing them, and you know you're not. The Tower that you're going to get is going to actually probably show you your deepest fear. It's going to, some of these things might happen simultaneous too, so they might relate to other people that you're in situations with, but it's going to actually trigger the deepest fear. And for some reason, that Tower moment, for the people who are in that kind of second group I started talking about, it almost feels like it's an abandonment wound that they didn't know they had. It's some type of trigger to an abandonment wound. That's kind of just what I get. Towers are actually a really good thing, and I love we have the healing light card underneath with playing it safe. But towers are actually really good things, because towers actually break down every fucking bullshit conditioning, facade, belief system, walls that you build up around you that really prevent you from accessing the building or the area that you want to. It's like you're in, like, you know, if you think about it in like a literal sense, I mean, it's still metaphorical, but you know what I mean? Like, if you think about two different buildings and you're focusing on building A, which is the one that's kind of disheveled, it's kind of cracked, it's not really what you want, but it's like you're comfortable because you're used to it, right? But your comfort zone is really not your comfort zone, but it's what you're familiar with, your familiar zone. You're used to it. And then you have building B and you're like, God damn, this is exactly what I want. It looks good, price good. Everything's fucking great about this, but you won't go over there because there's this fear of whatever your own personal fears are. So building A is about to break the fuck down and fall apart. So you can't focus it on it anymore. You have to focus on what you actually want, basically. So with the milestone and intuition and manifestation, for the ones that are closing out this cycle, you'll know this. This is just validation to what you already kind of know. You've already been like listening to your intuition. You've been doing all the stuff that you're supposed to do, like everything that you were kind of resisting before, you're not. You're surrendering more, and you don't have to be perfect at it. It's just like, if something, like, you're more empowered, you're more in your truth, you're more in your energy, like you're doing things from more of a heartfelt place, or you're doing things from a place that's really like soul based. Like if you're in that group, like this is definitely for you. And what it is like, as you're closing out cycles, your manifestations are coming in. Like as you're finishing this cycle up, like the end result's going to show up. And I keep getting this energy though, that it might be temporary. It might come in as a temporary thing just to help you. It's almost like, I'm trying to think of the word, to integrate the energy. Like, so it's not overwhelming when the actual thing comes in, the full thing comes in, but like to help you like assimilate to it, get used to it, almost acclimate, probably is actually a better word, acclimate, to get used to it. Also to fine tune it, also to see what it feels like, also to trigger those insecurities you have with actually receiving what you want, for you to learn the lessons and see that you're actually fully strong enough and capable enough of doing the things that you've been healing and learning about, that type of stuff. And then after like that almost like transition temporary period, like full picture is coming. And I have been channeling for like a little while. If you've been watching my videos, you know, like I've been channeling for a little while that a lot of those things were going to come in the end of this year, beginning of next year for people. So if that's your group, I'm not getting a message for the second group. So I'm not going to, there's nothing I'm getting for the second group with those cards. But I'm going to specifically pull for the second group from this deck. I was trying to figure out. I'm going to pull from that deck too, but we'll do kind of a general message. Okay, so for the second group, kind of what message do you need for them? Got one more. Okay. So for the second group, you got emotional loss with discontent and boredom. This is what you got underneath it. The spiritual union. They're not having me pull it, but they wanted me to show that. This is for the second group. That's kind of like I said, probably going to have like a tower. I get actually a lot of impatience energy with this. It's almost like you're wanting what you want to happen without actually stepping into your power, making the changes. It's almost like you're like wanting spirit to be like, here, just give me what I want, instead of actually realizing that in order to have what you want, you have to become the person. you have to be able to become the person you want or what you want to receive. So if you're in this energy of lack, or you're in this energy where you're not fully in your power, or you're not stable within yourself, you're not trustworthy to yourself, you're not like emotionally grounded, if you're not in this energy, then anything that comes in, you're going to sabotage, destroy, whatever the fuck it is. Because whatever is below the surface that keeps those behaviors continually like going on is actually hindering you from getting what you want. And until you heal those things, you're going to keep reacting out of them, and you're going to still keep feeling those unworthiness feelings or whatever the fuck emotions are below the surface that are actually causing you to act like that and behave like that. Push it away, whatever the fuck it is. I get a lot of like impulse energy with these cards too. Like a lot of you guys are very like, will go into your inner child and you'll be very emotionally impulsive. Some of you guys definitely had parents who were that way, that were very emotionally impulsive and that would react out of their emotions and just kind of do certain things because of how they were feeling instead of sitting with the discomfort. And I feel like this is a message for you guys too, to help you, is when you're feeling overwhelmed, stop dumping it on other people or projecting it outward and doing like impulsive things. Breathe, sit in your discomfort and take care of yourself and learn how to feel your emotions and feelings and how to self-soothe. So this way you're not emotionally reacting to situations, you're actually doing stuff from a place of empowerment. This is going to build trust with yourself, and this is also going to help people trust you more, because when you trust yourself, other people can feel that energy and then they trust you more. If you're very internally fractured with stuff and you're trying to help other people or give them advice, people aren't going to fully listen to you because you don't even listen to yourself. It's an energy thing more than it is a word, you know. I give this example to people a lot. It's like children, like they watch your behaviors. And that's why, if you ever notice, a lot of times kids either become exactly like their parents or the complete opposite, or they end up in relationships just like their parents. And it's because these are the things that were so normalized to them. And that's what they're comfortable with, they're familiar with. So that's what they go into. And it's usually the exact or the extreme fucking opposite, but you're still also, the energy of it is still based on that specific trauma. The response is still based on the specific trauma, versus somebody who has actually dealt with their trauma and dealt with their stuff and learned how to not go into all this shit, goes, what is it that I want and why? And that's what I'm going to make a decision out of. I'm not making a decision out of my trauma. I'm not making a decision out of my fear. I'm going to make a decision out of my soul, out of my empowered, strong energy and my stability. You guys also got the Prosperity Begins Light and Solar Plexus chakra. God damn, hold on. My fucking left arms just started like feeling like tense and like hurting. Let me feel into this because I feel like this has to do something with this reading. It feels like this resistance to, it almost feels like defensive feminine energy. God damn, this is uncomfortable as fuck. If y'all been having like left arm pain or like discomfort like right here, this is definitely for you, because I think they're having me feel this so I can feel what the energy means. And it's like almost like, oh God, it's like shoot like a nerve pain. I don't know, my elbow and all the way up. It feels like this defensive feminine energy. It feels definitely defensiveness with the intuition, but it feels like this defensive energy of control, like control and power. So if it's not you, it could definitely be a mother figure. It definitely feels feminine as fuck. And it feels like this safety fear and wanting like power and control, but it definitely relates somehow to emotions, like emotional control or power, and like there being like a struggle there. And like this very guarded defensive energy. For some of you, like Spirit's saying, like self-reflection is really fucking important for you to see, are you aligning with your truth and your true energy? So what is it that I want? Are my thoughts aligning with this and my behaviors aligning with this? And it doesn't mean like lying to yourself and telling yourself shit that you think you need to think. It's being honest with yourself, being transparent with yourself. This is how I feel. This is what I think. This is whatever. And being genuine and honest. But outwardly, what am I going to do to work toward what I want? and staying on track. Like if you're a fucking train going to, you know, another station, you're not going to keep going off to random ass stations that are going to prevent you from getting to where you want. Like they have nothing to do with your route at all. They have nothing to do with anything. They're just keep deterring you like completely off track. So it's the same thing when you're staying in alignment. It's like kind of what's the end goal, and are my behaviors and my stuff aligning with that? Am I making decisions out of fear, or making decisions that are moving toward what I actually want, my goal, my manifestation, my desire? With this, prosperity begins, light, solar plexus chakra. I definitely get a severe lack of self-confidence with a lot of you guys. And a lot of like internal emptiness and unworthiness feelings. It almost, and I just keep in the word empty, it almost feels just like this empty space there that's like so emotionally shut down. It almost feels like this void energy, like devoid energy, like where it's they keep saying the word devoid to me, devoid. Yeah, devoid. I don't know why they keep saying that. But it feels just like this, almost like feeding the ego and like impulse energy instead of actually healing this confidence stuff. And the way you can heal that is by looking at how do you honestly and genuinely truly feel about yourself, and where the fuck did you learn that? Where did you hear that? What was said to you? What did your relationships look like as far as friendships and romantic relationships? How did they either help you or hinder you? And really starting to go fucking deep in your shit. And when you do that, you're going to start seeing where all this bullshit is that keeps you from being you. And it feels like a lot of you guys need to do some like self-reflection and inner child meditation with this, very specifically your solar plexus chakra. For some of you guys, it definitely might be root 2, but I strongly get this. You can also listen to like a binaural beats, like, well, if you're watching this, you're on my YouTube. So if you go to like my playlist or whatever, there's one, I think it's called like chakra healings or meditations or something. There's one, it's by Tao, Taos Wins. And like, they're like 15-minute meditations. So what I do when I listen, I don't listen to them often, but when I do, it's like intentional when I'm trying to clear energy from certain chakras. When you get to a certain place, your shit just flows though. So you don't need to actually go into stuff like that. It will just naturally come up. Like your energy just needs to be open to it. But if you're not in that phase, that's okay. Because this is what I used to do. And I promise you, I cleared out so much trauma this way. So those very specific meditations I have saved, what I used to do is either like lay back in the chair or I lay on my bed and I picture the color of whatever the fuck the chakra was that I was working on. And that's all I did. And I listened to it for the 15 minutes and I let it just be. And what would happen is over time, like I do it once or twice a day for a few weeks, depending on which one I needed to work on the most. And over time, all those energies and all that stuff starts coming up. It might not, immediately happen, but it will start coming up. And it's because you're targeting specific areas in your body that are holding like heavier energies. What's important though, is for you to deal with those emotions when they come up and don't shove them back down or distract. Let them flow and feel them. And when you're uncomfortable or feel unsafe, self-soothe. Like deep breathing is probably the best way to self-soothe. Like this, like rubbing your hand. I go like this and I rub it like that, holding on to like a crystal. It depends. I mean, whatever. I'll actually put them on my chest. Sometimes when I'm getting hit with like high energies and stuff, I usually I get a lot here in my solar plexus, so I'll kind of hold it, or my hand, breathe, like remind myself like I'm okay. It's okay. This is just energy. This is just emotion. It's flowing, and just try to stop resisting it. I usually like this, and I try to just let it flow, and it's not always comfortable, but over like a little period of time, it will like release. It won't feel all that pressure. It's just trying to come out. So that I would say is good. And then also journaling, either video or hand journaling, or just kind of talking out loud to yourself and just kind of processing what feelings come up and like what is it that you don't like about yourself and why, and where did you learn that, and where did you hear this is a problem, and blah blah. Is it something you actually need to fix, or is it something that you were told was wrong with you that isn't? So with the prosperity begins in light, I just get all this doubt energy. I get like so much doubt energy with these cards. Like, it's like a lack of faith and trust, but I feel like this is something that you guys are working through. It feels like in the past, there was something that you thought was going to work out and it didn't, and it broke some of you guys, or felt like it broke some of you guys. And it almost stopped you from having faith or trust and believing that you can actually have good things. And it almost made you give into these feelings like you're not enough and you're not deserving or worthy of what you're receiving. Like the way you internalized it, but also it created this like bigger doubt and perception, with this. But I want to pull something else with this. Like, I don't know. I just keep getting like, things are not always as they seem. Like, things seem one way, but they're not always that way. And not in a bad way either. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's almost just like, sometimes you can't see the things you need to see. Oh, guys, come the fuck on. We got the Hope card. And look at what's underneath that. The Harmony card, which is the same as card as the Spiritual Union. The spiritual, right? Wait, was it this deck? Yeah, this deck. Like, almost the same as the Spiritual Union. This is like a love card. I find it hysterical that it's on the bottom of both, like one card under or two. Oh, I forgot to tell you the other card that came out, Power. Yeah, the Power card, I just keep getting like, it's like breaking free of all that conditioning and all that fear. Like, you can work through it, you can overcome it. Like, you are definitely strong enough to handle it. And like the Hope card is like pretty literal to just like let you know that you can overcome through this, you can work through this. Like, you're actually a lot powerful, like a lot more powerful and a lot stronger than you think you are or realize you are. Like, and some of you guys are going to start seeing this. And for both groups, it feels like that message is for you. Like, the first group, as you're working through that transition period, you're going to realize you're strong enough to actually implement the behaviors. And like for the other group, it's like you're strong enough to be able to deal with the emotions and the feelings and like make the outward changes you need to. And just to let you know, like, that things are going to happen for you. Like, you are going to become the person that you've always been meant to be. That you've kind of always had to hide and not truly be, or put on a facade or pretend like you're somebody you're not to get like your attention or needs met or whatever it is. And like, you don't have to. When you come into your power, like, things just attract you. You just become a magnet for them. But also, and things get easier too, because even when like the rough storms come, like, you aren't affected by them. You just float with them and sail with them, versus getting caught in the storm and the chaos and like doing all this unnecessary work and feeling all this unnecessary shit. And I keep getting from Spirit, like, things do calm down. Like, once you overcome certain things and obstacles, things do come and you rebuild. And this is like where you rebuild and then you actually live the life that you've wanted. But I just keep getting like, all things are possible. Like, you're not asking for too much. All things are possible. That's what I'm getting with that. I definitely get the feeling like a lot of your spirit guides, it might be some of your spirit team, but I very specifically keep getting spirit guides are giving you messages. Like, they're definitely giving you messages. So when you're feeling like a shift in your energy and it's like noticeable, like a good feeling, a good shift in your energy, or you're seeing like a sign that's significant, or hearing a song or something that's significant, like, it is your spirit team. Or you're hearing like a word repeating sometimes, certain dreams, they're giving you messages, certain words, things like that. So you'll start seeing those a little bit more if you pay attention, whether just like confirmation it is your spirit team. All of these, I don't want to take all those. It's a lot of cards. We got the one, which is the highest priestess, but there's like a few cards and I'm like, I'm not feeling them. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, the energy of them. I was gonna say, y'all don't want to come out now? There we go. Okay. There we go. I was gonna say, I don't know. The other cards didn't feel like the right cards for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to read part of the bottom of it, which is review your progress. You want me to read the whole thing? Review your progress and make plans for your next endeavor. And then they want me to read it backwards. Apparently that's the last sentence. Review your progress and make plans for your next endeavor. Have patience and wait for the harvest. Okay, so we got Highest Priestess. We got Page of Raphael. And then we got King of Michael. Okay, I'm going to actually just read you the bottoms and then I'm going to channel messages afterward because I feel like they want me to read the bottoms. So the Highest Priestess, powerful psychic insights, reflection and meditation that provides valuable information, be at peace. And I feel like all these messages kind of relate to the other messages I've said. Page of Raphael, a new emotional situation, messages regarding relationships or social invitations, great intuitive insight. So you got like psychic card, intuition card, and then you got King of Michael, wisdom and objectivity are important now. Stay in your integrity, a situation that calls for open and honest communication. So you also got like, you got like the 3 cards together with the like King of Michael and the staying in your integrity. That means like really looking at like, what are my values and do my behaviors and words really align with my values? And I get a lot of you, they don't. Like if you think that like communication is important, are you actually openly and honestly and genuinely communicating? You know, if you think that trust is important, are you being open and trustworthy and honest? Are you kind of manipulating situations? Are you holding stuff back? Are you saying things in a certain way to kind of control things? So it's like really looking at like, am I who I think I am and say I am? It's like the Slim Shady, I am whoever you say I am. That's not what it means, but it just, I'm like, yeah, I always do that. Like songs pop in my head that remind me of stuff. But anyway, for some of you, this is really being just honest with yourself. And I feel like I said that in the beginning, it's really just being like objective and honest with yourself and really looking at like what it is you want and why. But I think the integrity part also like has to do with alignment too, which is staying in alignment with what you want. And that also means staying in alignment with who you want to be and how you want to be, which means that your behaviors and your actions and your words should align with your underlying fucking values and principles. They shouldn't go out of alignment. They shouldn't be situational. They should actually be what they are. Like when somebody meets you, like they should be able to tell what your values are based on how you fucking talk and what your behaviors are. And it shouldn't be in conflict. And if it's in conflict, you're not living in integrity, or you're not living in your truth. With this Highest Priestess, I just get like this energy of like a lot of you guys are like rising in your energy and power. And a lot of you guys are really opening up to your gifts. Some of you are kind of like that second group feels like they've already had the gifts and they're just kind of becoming more in tune with them and a little bit more trusting and aware of them. For the other group, it's like you guys already know you have the gifts and like you've already been kind of like using them and you're getting like a little bit more information for what you need to bring you forward. You might not have full clarity, but you're getting a little bit more information on what you need. With the Page of Raphael, what I'm getting is like you need to embody who you are. And you don't need to over undercompensate to have what you want. You don't have to be somebody you're not. I know that's not what the card says, but this is what I'm getting. Like, you don't have to be somebody you're not to fit in or to actually get what you want. The only thing you need to do is be you and actually do all the other shit, like living in alignment and integrity. But I also get for a lot of you, you need to soften your heart and not be so like defensive and destructive. Like, really opening yourself up and not thinking that everything is there to hurt you. Everything's a lesson. Everything is there to destroy your dreams or crush you or sabotage you or anything like that. Like to actually open yourself up and start listening to your soul more and feeling your feelings a little bit more and like just kind of embodying your truth. And I kind of want like one more fucking card, like a final, hell yeah. So let's pull from this one. Because it's like mystical, magical. All All right, let's get like 1 or 2. I feel like 3 might come out, but let's aim these 2. There we go. Okay, we got Peacock, raise your standards. Stop settling. Dreams, believe in your dreams. All right, now I know why they just had me pull from that, because I for sure was going to end it with that deck, and I was like, something's like, you need another deck. Raise your standards. I feel like this, I've already said this. It's like, stop settling for less than you want and focus on what you want and believe in your dreams. Like, they said that before, like anything you want is possible. Like, you don't have to lower yourself. You don't have to lower your standards or lower who the fuck you are to be able to get what you want. You don't need to compensate for any perceived insecurities or flaws. Just be fully you, and people will appreciate and embrace who you are. The right people. But this feels like some of you guys keeping yourself small because you've been taught to keep yourself small, or you have been in relationships that try to hinder your growth and try to like stop you from actually fulfilling your dreams. It feels almost like maybe they were afraid of being abandoned or something like that, or they were afraid of you being perceived, I'm saying in quotes, better than them, or accomplishing things that they didn't, or something like that. But like, this is really just spirit saying like, this is an opportunity and a time for you energetically to really fucking blossom and to really live in your truth and work toward your fucking dreams and stop getting into bullshit and settling for less than you deserve. So I hope that this helps you guys, and I hope you guys have a good night.